YouTube is a rather inhospitable platform as of late for individual creators. It's not a revelation, not by any stretch. YouTube wants to pull in larger late night hosts, mainstream media, music partners, and other corporate interests, while deprioritizing the individual content creators who originally made the platform shine. While this happens, and it's been happening for years, the process of successfully and safely creating videos has gotten more and more troublesome. If you are too edgy or too adult, you can be demonetized or banned. Now, if you are too family friendly and cater to children, COPPA can hit you like a freight train. But even more severe, copyright and the DMCA takedown system on YouTube can be and is abused every day by malicious organizations to extort creators who otherwise cannot reasonably defend themselves from these claims. The latest example, and one that will undoubtedly evolve over the coming days to a much more pronounced situation, is MXR Plays and Jukin Media. This is a developing story, so keep in mind that by the time you watch this, in a few days, weeks, or even months, there might be a resolution to this individual instance. But more so than just spur-of-the-moment reporting, I want to show this evolving situation as an example of the extortion business model that is rampant on YouTube. The situation is rather complex, but I'll do my best to summarize. Also, I cannot show the actual footage and clips in question because Jukin Media appears to be taking malicious action against those that do. It is somewhat selective. They are not levying many $1,000 charges against all of the channels, but this issue is going to blow up in their face, and I don't want to deal with the hassle if they did decide to make another illegal claim and come after other creators who decided to cover the story. The basic layout is as follows. MXR Plays is a reaction-based YouTube channel that does comedic and commentary-based videos pertaining to Reddit threads, memes, funny clips, and other popular internet material, while Jukin Media is a licensing corporation that protects and monetizes viral content from partnered creators. MXR Plays often does reaction videos wherein they look at a wide selection of clips, and within that broad cross-section of currently viral material, Jukin Media claims that they have shown content which is licensed through Jukin itself by one of its many partners without proper approval. This would normally be a simple copyright claim, however, Jukin Media is taking it a step further. The response from Jukin Media after claiming that they have determined the clips in question are not fair use, we will get to fair use in a minute here, the response was to issue settlement demands contingent upon $1,500 per video for a total of 4 videos equaling $6,000 that must be paid, or they will immediately resort to copyright strike takedowns, not regular claims, which would terminate MXR Play's channel entirely. Basically, give us $6,000 or your channel is getting nuked. This is a step too far. Truthfully, most copyright claims on YouTube nowadays are wrongful or a step too far, completely fraudulent for the most part, but this is borderline extortion, and the issue is likely going to explode outward in a very high-profile way. Jukin Media has a very targeted section of their business model which pertains to viral videos. On their official website, the rights management section says the following: viral videos are often the target of piracy. Fortunately, Jukin Media can help. Our YouTube certified staff can find unauthorized copies of your video on and off YouTube to ensure that you're compensated when someone uses your video. On a surface level, this kind of may make sense a bit, but applying their behavior towards MXR Plays in a broader capacity, we can see that this business model is not only predatory, it is also fundamentally damaging to the entire functioning internet if widely applied. MXR Plays is not the only creator that produces reaction videos. Far from it. Reaction videos and compilations comprise a massive section of YouTube as a whole, and because of this, claiming anything shown in a reaction video with a backwards trace all the way to its original producer or subject is not only impossible, it would cause huge sections of the internet to come grinding to a halt if ever truly enforced. To mitigate this problem, though copyright law itself is a quagmire of complicated and very poorly constructed guidelines, there is the concept of fair use. Now, keep in mind I am not a lawyer, though I do have some knowledge of fair use as it relates to my central career at this time, but despite me not having that expertise personally, thankfully someone else does. Leonard French is a well-known copyright lawyer who tackles these topics as they pertain to YouTube, and he has already done a 1.5-hour-long livestream on this topic, which I will link down below in the description, outlining the legality of Jukin Media's claim and the effect it might have. Basically, fair use pertains to 4 central pillars: the purpose and character of the use, including whether it is of a commercial nature or for non-profit educational purposes, the nature of the copyrighted work, the amount of the portion used in relation to the copyrighted work as a whole, and the effect of the use upon the potential market for or value of the copyrighted work. Now, a case can easily be made that MXR Plays and most other commentary or reaction-based channels for that matter have adhered closely enough to these four principles to constitute fair use. In fact, there is relevant case material to help us make that determination, which pertains to H3H3 in a lawsuit over YouTube videos using video clips that they did not own. It's a complicated case to outline, but basically video clips were used and the court found in favor of H3H3, citing it as a quintessential fair use application. This by no means guarantees that MXR Plays would find the same results, but it helps set the stage for fair use being extremely likely. Even so, that's not really the problem here. Let's assume for a moment that it isn't fair use, even though I am confident in the claim that it is. Let's assume that MXR Plays did a simple compilation and one of those clips in a 10 or so minute long video belonged to Jukin Media and was not fair use. This would mean that Jukin Media is well within their legal rights to claim the video. Now, whether or not they should claim the video is an entirely separate topic, but that's irrelevant for right now. Instead of doing this, instead of just claiming the video or simply asking for it to be taken down, they decide to issue a retroactive per-usage settlement claim demanding $6,000 or they will terminate MXR Play's channel outright. And this is where we see the true nature of what Jukin Media is. If you explore relevant material and news relating to this company, it becomes clear almost immediately that they are a massive internet bully. There are Google threads relating to Jukin which cite predatory claims. There are articles about them on sites like Mashable which outright call them an internet mob boss. They have struck down videos for having similar titles when compared to the ones that they protect, without first checking, doing irreparable damage to that video and creator, and then simply saying, "Oops, sorry," in their response. There are even claims of creators wrongfully pretending to be the owners of video content, licensing it through Jukin Media, who then forcefully copyright claims that content from the original and legitimate owner of the material, who then has to fight against malicious attacks from a licensing firm who is stealing their own content from them. Basically, Jukin Media is a giant leech and a malignant force in the internet community. These tactics are not random. The chosen valuation of $1,500 per video is tied into the relative cost it would take for MXR Plays to defend themselves. Hiring a lawyer to actually analyze this entire case would cost probably thousands of dollars, and if they lost, it could then require payment for the opposition's legal fees as well. The entire thing is a calculated move to hit MXR Plays as hard as they can, threatening termination of their entire channel as a punishment and extort as much money as possible, while coming just shy of an amount that would prompt actual legal retaliation. Jukin Media has been butting heads with YouTubers for years. Massive creators with millions of followers, smaller creators who simply don't have the reach to put up a fight, and their latest tactic has progressed far past the previous method of simple acquisition and then subsequent takedowns, to what can really only be described as malicious extortion. And the worst part is that YouTube allows it. YouTube is desperately scared of liability. When a DMCA takedown is issued, they must abide by that claim or they risk being held liable for the copyright infringement themselves, if it even occurred. So as a result, large companies like Jukin Media are capable of issuing practically whatever claim they want with impunity. However, adding on a retroactive $1,500 charge per video for small clips, sometimes seconds long, demanding thousands of dollars in total, or they will strike a channel into oblivion, this is an evolution on predation that cannot be accepted on this platform. The entire business model is predicated on taking advantage of others, from the start, where crumbs are given to creators as their videos start to grow, right up to the end where the now viral videos are leveraged against creators simply reacting to them or using them in a fair and transformative capacity to extort sums of money just small enough to avoid litigation, but far larger than the already aggressively overpriced licensing fees on their website. Making everything worse is the unequal treatment. MXR Plays stated in their response video aimed at clarifying this entire situation that in the past they paid Jukin Media $2,000 during a very similar circumstance. MXR tries very hard not to use anything Jukin Media has in their library, but once in a while there is a slip up or they make a mistake. Due to the nature of how Jukin goes about acquiring footage, that is honestly inevitable. The issue is, these extortion settlements are not made against everyone, because not everyone falls for it. I like what I have seen of MXR Play's content, but they seem to have fallen for something they really shouldn't have, because no money should have ever been given to Jukin Media at all, owing to the videos clearly being fair use. However, once they did send over settlement funds, Jukin smelled blood in the water. It's now very clear, as a result of how rapidly and effectively they claim every single tiny infraction of a clip in MXR Play's videos, that they have a team of reviewers monitoring the channel to find any infraction. Though recalling that they have numerous times in the past claimed content that was not even owned by the person submitting it to their directory in the first place, how do we even know these claimed infractions are even real? But regardless, they know that MXR is willing to pay, or was willing to pay, so they ramped up the extortion and decided to milk them as hard as possible. That is what Jukin Media is, a predatory and malicious licensing corporation that preys on creators who are unable to effectively fight them off. It's really sickening. I would encourage anyone out there who has ever had a relationship with Jukin Media, or might have been contemplating one, though that's probably very few people, to consider this, consider all of it, and realize that this group is a pox on the health of the internet. That's it for today. If you want to support, there are links down below, merch, Patreon, Twitter, etc., but I'll cut it there and stop rambling. As always, thank you all for watching, and have a nice night.